You know, in the NCAA tournament, the 12-5 matchups are always really difficult to pick. They're always filled with upsets. But will that be the case in the college football playoff as number 12 Clemson travels to Austin to take on number 5 Texas? Will the Longhorns just annihilate the Tigers, or will we see Clemson pull off the biggest upset of this 12-team playoff? That is what we are here to discuss today. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. Our final opening round playoff prediction. We've predicted all 4 games. This is the last one. And then, of course, we'll have the quarterfinals when we get there. But our final prediction of the opening round, Clemson and Texas. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com. Tons of exclusive content over there, including, of course, our expert picks, including the holiday special over on thegridironexpert.com. Again, the holiday special, one of the lowest prices in the country, giving you all of our college football bowl game picks and the rest of our NFL picks for the entire season, including the playoffs. And we have never gone under 60% in our postseason picks. So go take advantage of those, guys. The link for it down in the description below. Never too late to sign up. We want you to become a member of our GE Nation. So Clemson and Texas. Clemson and Texas. Man, these are the Orange Bowl in a way, right? This is an interesting game. The ACC champion Clemson Tigers got the lowest seed in the college football playoffs, sneaking in as that 3-loss team. Texas, meanwhile, the SEC runner-up in their first year in the conference, losing the title game to Georgia in a game that really the Longhorns probably should have won if they had just learned to not shoot themselves in the foot time and time again. Turnovers, missed field goals, just mistake after mistake after mistake. Texas probably should have won that game, and yet instead they didn't get the bye, but they did get the next highest seed they could get, which was the 5 seed, and do get to host this game, which is huge for them. We'll start with Clemson going into this game. We'll start with Clemson on the offensive side of the ball. And if you go back over the last couple of years, that's what's been holding Clemson back, right? The offense was just mediocre. You know, the DJ Uyunglele era wasn't all that great. Last year wasn't all that great, but saw signs of improvement. This year, though, finally taking off under Garrett Riley, the offensive coordinator. They're 12th in the nation in total offense, averaging nearly 455 yards per game. They're 17th in the nation, averaging nearly 275 passing yards per game, and they average over 180 rushing yards per game as well. So a relatively balanced offense for the Tigers. Cade Klubnik has really answered the call. Over 3,300 passing yards this year, 33 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions. He's been playing great ball. He was facing a lot of criticism, and this was kind of like a make-or-break year for him, it felt like, in Death Valley, and he has delivered. A fantastic year, taking great care of the football, leading them to an ACC title, and getting them back to the college football playoff. His top target, Antonio Williams, has been phenomenal. Over 800 reception yards and 10 touchdowns. 10 of the 33 touchdowns have gone to Antonio Williams. And Phil Maffa has been great at running back when he's healthy. That's going to be a big X factor coming into this game on Saturday afternoon, as Maffa, has been kind of banged up for a little while. Is he going to be at full strength? Is he going to play? So many questions surrounding him, a guy who's rushed for over 1,100 yards. It is really going to be, as I mentioned, the X factor, because Clemson needs a competent rushing attack to go along with what's been a much improved passing attack if they want to beat Texas on the road. And there's no doubt about that. You cannot expect to walk into Austin and beat Texas solely with your quarterback, solely by throwing the ball. You just can't. You've got to have some semblance of balance coming into this game. Klubnik can do as much as he can, and he's capable of putting a team on his back. Against SMU in the ACC Championship, 260 yards and 4 touchdowns in that wild win over the Mustangs. He can do it, or at least I could say he could keep it close, but he's not going to be able to do it all by himself. So the status of Maffa, how well he played, or really the status of any Clemson running back, is going to be the X factor in this game, making sure that they are balanced, can sustain drives, can continue to convert. Their 45.2% conversion rate on third down is pretty dang good, making sure they can keep drives alive and keep this Texas offense off the field. Because, as we know, the Longhorns do have one of the better offenses in the nation, 18th in the country, averaging over 445 yards per game. They're 281 passing yards per game, or 13th in the nation, and they do average over 164 rushing yards per game. But here's the thing. If you've been watching Texas football for about the last month, you've seen this offense slow down a little bit, maybe go through some struggles. And a lot of people even calling for Quinn Ewers to be replaced by Arch Manning, saying, hey, if we want to make a run in the playoff, if we truly want to win a national title, Quinn Ewers may not be that guy. If you look at Texas, they only mustered 20 points against Arkansas, only 17 points against Texas A&M, only 19 points in their SEC championship loss to Georgia. And in those 3 games that I just mentioned, against Arkansas, Texas A&M, and Georgia, Quinn Ewers has thrown 4 touchdowns to 3 interceptions and has been held to under 250 passing yards in 2 of those 3 games. That's a bit of a concern. He's a phenomenal quarterback. He's a relatively accurate quarterback, although he's had some issues with turnovers lately. He is the reason that Texas, one of the major reasons Texas got 1 play away from a national championship last year. He's a major reason for why they're in this position now, but you won't go far in the playoff if your quarterback doesn't play well. It's just not going to happen. So Quinn Ewers has to step up big time on Saturday afternoon. Texas offensively has to step up big time, because it's not all on him, although the quarterback gets the majority of the criticism. Texas has turned the ball over 22 times this season. They've got to find a way to cut that down. You cannot gift Clemson with extra opportunities. You cannot gift Clemson with turnovers that could allow them to turn that into points. We always say, if you're the road team, especially in a game like this, you've got to find a way to win the turnover battle. You've got to find a way to steal some drives, steal some points. Turnovers are what would do that. Clemson wants it. Texas has to cut down on it, and it's been a bit of a problem for the Longhorns over the last couple of weeks. Take a look at the defense. Question is, can Clemson do it, right? They're not just going to hand the ball over to the Tigers. Can the Clemson defense force these turnovers? Maybe. Clemson's defense has been mediocre this year. That's to say the least. Literally middle of the pack. 65th in the nation, allowing 365 rushing yards, or 355 total yards per game. That's 214 through the air, over 150 on the ground. And there's a couple keys for Clemson's defense coming into a game like this. The first one is obviously turnovers. And we just mentioned that. Could they do it? And we say, yeah, they can actually. They have forced 25 this year. That includes 15 interceptions. So secondary has not been bad. Allowing just 214.4 passing yards per game, that's a pretty good mark. 15 interceptions, it's a pretty good mark. They have 33 sacks on the year. Texas has allowed 28. So they're creating consistent pressure on the quarterback. They're forcing interceptions. They're not really allowing many big explosive plays in the passing game. And that's huge. That's what you need if you're Clemson. You're going to need an all-time game on Saturday afternoon, but that's encouraging that we've seen them do it multiple times this year. But the bad thing for Clemson, the second key for them, is the secondary's got to play well. Has to. But the running game and the running defense has to be even better. Why? Clemson has 3 losses. Who are they to? They were to Georgia, they were to Louisville, and they were to South Carolina. 2 of those SEC teams, by the way. In those 3 losses, the Tigers have allowed at least 169 rushing yards in all 3 of them. They've allowed at least 169 rushing yards in each of their 3 losses. That includes 210 to Louisville and 267 to South Carolina in their regular season finale. Will the Clemson rushing defense be exposed again against Texas? If so, they have no shot in Austin. If Clemson tightens that up, shuts down the Texas run game, and forces it all to be on the shoulders of Quinn Ewers, they've got a shot to win this game. But if you allow Texas to run wild on you, to run, to set up the pass, or really hardly throw it all because you can't stop the run, you can go ahead and kiss any slim national championship hopes you had goodbye. Texas, on the other hand, significant defensive advantage. Number 3 overall defense in the country, allowing just 249.8 yards per game. They have the number 1 passing defense in the country, allowing just 143 passing yards per game, and they're 13th in the nation, allowing just 106 rushing yards per game. So that's a concern, right? We literally just said, when we talked about the Clemson offense, we said Cade Klubnik has been phenomenal, but he can't do it all by himself. He needs the ground game to step up. And now you've got a number 1 secondary going up against. Cade Klubnik definitely cannot do it all by himself now. No shot you're winning this game solely by yourself against the number 1 passing defense in the country. And then you go, what about the running game? Well, Texas is like, we're pretty good against the run too, and Clemson's a little banged up at the running back position. That's a concern. Texas's offense may be up and down, maybe not be as explosive as they need to be, but they're going to be able to win these games and be able to keep things close if needed through the strength of their defense. No doubt about that. This Texas defense has forced 19 interceptions on the year. They have 38 sacks on the year. Clemson's only allowed 22, so hopefully the offensive line can hold up. But bottom line is Texas holds the significant defensive advantage. They own the home field advantage, which is massive in games like this. And while Clemson, you could argue, can hang with Texas offensively, I just don't think it's going to be enough. This is by no means, especially in the world of college football, in a year like this, there is no such thing as a lock. Not at all. There is no such thing as a lock. But I feel like this is about as close as you can get to one within the 4 college football games we're going to see over the course of this weekend. No game's a lock by any means, but if you had to pick just straight up a team that you feel very confident is going to go in there and take care of business, it's probably going to be Texas over Clemson. That would be my gut. Because Clemson, they deserve a lot of credit. They deserve a lot of praise for getting to this point. A lot of praise for, having the chips fall their way in the regular season finale. Everybody thought they were done for playoff-wise when they lost to South Carolina, but they still managed to slip into the ACC championship, and they were able to win it. So they deserve a lot of praise for that. But I just don't think they're going to have enough to come all the way to Austin against this good of a defense, against a hungry Texas team that I fully expect Steve Sarkisian to have ready to go, rearing and ready to go. Clemson keeps it close for a while, maybe for the entire first half. Texas pulls away in the second half. The Longhorns advance to the quarterfinals. They'll take on Arizona State. Clemson's dreams die, but they do deserve a lot of credit for getting to this point. Texas keeping their national title hopes alive in what will be an intriguing game against the Sun Devils in that quarterfinal. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. That includes our website, thegridironexpert.com, home of those holiday specials, home of those expert picks, everything there for you to become a member of our GE Nation, to win big with us. Again, the link for it down in the description below. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.